Hi everyone and welcome to a new video. In this video I just wanted to talk about why learning Chinese is so difficult and some people never get to a certain level. I've known a lot of foreigners here in China which live here just almost as long as I do, and I live here since 2011. So they live here almost as long as I do, but they somehow never seem to get over a certain level. And also in university, I know a lot of people who drop out just at the medium level when they reach the intermediate level. And I'm going to explain to you why I think that is. So first of all, why is it so difficult to learn this language in first place is not only it has, the pronunciation is not that difficult. But the thing is that you don't know how to pronounce the characters. You need to learn a lot of characters. There are tens and thousands of characters as compared to letters in the Western language, which is one of the biggest differences. But the good news is that even native Chinese people don't know all of the characters. So you will discover that if you live in China, that sometimes people don't know how to pronounce a certain character, or people are not sure how to pronounce a certain character. So you don't need to be that strict with yourself. And by the way, Chinese people are not born with some kind of weird genetic defect that they already know all the characters at birth. They are just like you. They have to learn this in elementary school. So you are basically the same as elementary school children in China, learning all those characters based on pinyin. And pinyin is based on English letters. So that should give you a rough idea about what everyone has to go through here. I still do make a lot of mistakes with the tones. Even after so many years, I still do my tones wrong. But one advice I can give you about the tones, because this is also one very tricky part for foreigners, since they learn a lot of language here by just by listening and talking to locals. But the local people might have some kind of dialects. There are too many different dialects in China. And then they might not say the tones correctly as it should be. If you want to make your tones correct, I suggest you listen more to either TV programs or something online, or some kind of podcasts or whatever, radio or something like that. And you can learn to pronounce each word correctly. And just by repetition, you will know how does this word sound as opposed to other words. Otherwise, if you make some tones wrong, you could create some misunderstanding, because a different tone is already possibly a different character and a totally different meaning. This is what I think is the most difficult things about learning Chinese, and why so many people don't get past a certain level is because only when you reach the intermediate level, that's the time when you realize how much you don't know. Because at the beginning it might be exciting to learn a new language, and you start to pick up certain things and be able to remember them. But as it gets more and more, people just tend to give up at some point, because they say, well, I have already know some basic Chinese, I can communicate with people, why should I learn more? Well, if you want to ever read a newspaper or be able to understand the TV or movies properly, you will have to learn more. And that takes a lot of effort and time, I think. So a lot of people give up right there, or they are too busy with their jobs and whatever, and then don't continue learning, which I think is really a shame. Because don't you want to... there is like a certain level of fluency in Chinese that you will never reach, and you will always sound very much like a foreigner. Even I do. But the thing is that I understand so many things around myself, like what people are talking and on TV. And that's because I was just going through a really tough phase of studying like crazy, like at university. But it's totally worth it at the end.